We're going to start off with just a general overview of how work has changed, because it has changed drastically over the last number of years, especially since sort of recession times. You really have to think what an employer may throw at you today. And some of the questions will ask you about their competitors. They will expect you to be industry specialists nearly about what's happening. For a lot of the larger companies especially, it will be an HR manager who will look at your CV and will look for the keywords that relate to that job description. And if they're hidden somewhere in your CV, they'll not be looking for them. They have to be prominent and you have to tailor it to that. So it's about just making yourself a little bit aware of what they wish to do. One of the things I would certainly say from a recruitment agency's point of view, the plainer your CV is being sent into a recruitment agency, the better it is. If you're making changes or want to bring highlighting out any points, don't just put them on your covering letter. Make sure that they're covered in your CV, because many organisations will just set your cover letter to one side and won't even consider it. Personal statement is the most difficult thing you will ever write. It is probably 6 to 10 lines, but it's meant to encompass everything you've done. It will probably take you half a day to write those 6 or 10 lines, but those 6 or 10 lines are also critical for you when you go to an interview, because the first question you may be asked at an interview is, tell me something about yourself. The content of what you say at an interview, how important do you think that is? 8%, anybody else? 40. You're close to the 8, it's around about 7%. And the reason for that is they will have judged you on a number of softer things coming in about the way you walk in, are you well presented, handshake. I know that you'll have been told this many times. It does create a really important experience to the interviewer. In terms of Rolls-Royce, they're actually monitoring the person who meets you at the gate, who shows you to your parking. They actually will have a camera on you while you're coming to your interview process. They will also want to speak to the person who's at reception and to see if you're a different person than the person who comes into the interview with them. On a personal level, within Blueprint, and in any other job that I've ever had, I will always take on board the comments from the person who has greeted them at reception or whatever else. It is important to think that everybody you meet in the interview process, or even today with Cara and I, we could potentially be an employer for you. So it's about making that impression.